name is Douglas, and welcome to Hanging with the Hooligans. Well, again, my name is Douglas, and we have Alex and Chuck with us here today. Unfortunately, we are missing our good friend James, who is at home taking care of the kiddos while his wife is out having fun over in London.
Fucking London.
Fucking London! That's not the whoop whoop. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that for a whole episode.
At least London randomly.
At least our shoes aren't shooting galleries. That'll be a British geezer.
From London, we love you terribly. Mm-hmm. Wait, is terribly?
That was a weird choice of word.
That was a very weird choice. I'm so sorry.
We love you, but fuck you.
Goddamn redcoats.
The way Alex said "fuck" was a
you.
Straight up rectangle. Yeah. So, anyways, London's an island. Well,
London is an island.
No, sorry. The UK is an island. London is a city.
Well, yeah, okay. Yes, you are correct. I mean, if you were to make it simplistic, you'd probably just put London on an island and call it
the island of London. Yeah.
Lund Island.
London.
They I don't know if they can you say they're technically coastal, or is it they have a river running through it? Because I know they got that big ass river between the UK and France, which is a big deal, but I know there's also that river, like the River Thames or whatever.
I think the River Thames is actually inside of the UK.
Yeah.
Because that's, I don't know the name of it, but there's that thing that separates France and England.
Yeah, all I know is that...
I call it a cape, but I think I'm totally fucking off.
Yeah, I just think, I think it's, I don't know, the Rhine or something, which is information I'm getting from Game of Thrones.
I mean, it's historically accurate, right? It's just Game of Thrones is just the history of Europe, right?
Yeah, I mean a little bit.
I learned all my geography from Tyrion Lannister.
I mean, he does just drink and know things.
He does.
Mean, you're in good hands with Tyrion.
Very small but good hands.
Note of the day: if you're with Tyrion, you're in good hands.
Oh no. So, anyways, this last weekend I went and saw Furiosa.
Ooh, how was it?
It was awesome. The pacing of that movie is one of the things where I was really kind of taken aback, because usually in a Mad Max movie there's somewhat more of a faster pace, at least of plot. If not saying not all their movies are super action packed or whatever, but this one was really slow. They really took their time with pretty much the entirety of Furiosa's life, and they also did a pretty good transition where they had a child actress playing the character at first, and then I didn't know when they transitioned from her to the main star, where I was like, oh, what? When did they switch her? Wow. That was pretty good.
Wait, so was the main actress the child and the adult, or I'm confused?
No, they had a child actress, and then there was a part where she was wearing a mask once the story got going, and then something happens, and eventually her mask comes off, and she was the adult, and I was like, wait. I did not realize at any point when they switched actors, so I thought that was pretty good part. I have a guess, though, which I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys, but I do have a guess when they transitioned. But I will not be saying.
Because we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. The most interesting aspects I will be talking about with that movie, though, is knowing the fact that there's elements from the 2015 video game that they put in there that they kind of, so the video game, the Avalanche Studio guys and Warner Brothers screwed over the director George Miller, because he gave them all this information to be hey, this is what we're doing, and this is so here's what you guys do with the video game or whatever. and they went, no, fuck you, we're going to do whatever we want with the story. So the story they did was whatever they wanted to do with the story in general, but it is lightly based around what the director had written for them and told them to do. And you can see that if you read the graphic novel that they also came out with, a few years after Fury Road came out. But one thing I was really interested to see is that the main villain of the video game, Scabrous Scrotus, which I believe they just call him Scrotus in the movie, was present. And I was like, oh, so that's what he looks like. Because in the game, he's, these are the same people who made fucking, like, Arkham Asylum, I'm pretty sure. So he's just a huge buff guy covered in War Boy white and all that. And this dude, he was like gross, like his forehead's all deformed, and he's still a big guy. Like he was like of a height with the big powerlifter dude that plays Rictus Erectus in Fury Road. But like, yeah, he was just more deformed looking, and he was like super violent sounding the whole movie. Like he wanted to kill everyone. Everyone's like, dude, stop. We're gonna do this instead. He's like, let's just fucking kill him. And so I was like really stoked knowing that there's another movie coming out, which is supposed to be the same kind of style of like explaining the backstory of what's going on, but with Mad Max between Thunder Road and Fury Road, Thunder Dome in Fury Road, actually.
Oh, so they're going to like a Mad Max 0.5 before this Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, so they were supposed to explain, and they've been wanting to do this for a long time, to where apparently George Miller had pitched the idea of having a TV show where it was supposed to be like Mad Max doing his little adventure of the day for the episode, and like he would get like car parts to rebuild his Interceptor, because in the Road Warrior his car's destroyed, and then everyone was confused because in Fury Road he had his car again, and everyone's like, what happened? Where did that car come from?
That would be awesome to see, like especially as like a TV series, and then the final episode, like the season finale, is him finally getting his car and enjoying the Fury Road. Like,
yeah, so yeah, the whole thing with that was like part of like what was supposed to be another thing the game was supposed to explain, because they showed his car being wrecked in the video game, which obviously isn't canon, because like I just said, that happened in Road Warrior. So that's one of the major things they screw up right away. But the whole game, you're rebuilding the car, and they did that because they knew in Fury Road he was going to have the car rebuilt, but they just they missed some details. Like there's supposed to be a part of the car which is like a special collectible in the game that was supposed to be missing from the movie, and like kind of like connecting the two things. But yeah, they screwed up, so that was missing from the movie, which was pretty sad in the whole grand scheme of things, especially because recently the director George Miller was like talking on the red carpet, and they were asking like, oh, do you guys want to do a video game? And he's like, nah, I let some people do a video game, and it was like not exactly what I wanted. Like he's trying to be nice about it, and the Avalanche Studio guys were like, fuck this guy. Our game was great, because the game was fun, but like they screwed over his vision, so of course he's gonna be upset about it. But the thing I thought was cool out of that is that he met one of his like longtime fans, which is this guy named Hideo Kojima, who's made games like Metal Gear Solid.
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, Silent Hill, Death
Silent Hill, yeah.
Yeah, he's a huge video game guy, and it turns out he's a huge fan of George Miller, to where when the Furiosa movie came out, he tweeted in English, Mad Max is my Bible, or like, like George Miller is my God and Mad Max is my Bible or something. I was like, damn, what the I would never have guessed that about that guy, for him to be such a big Mad Max fan. Or actually, I think he said Furiosa was his Bible, because that movie is, like I said, is awesome. But
I'm actually really excited to see it. I'm going to see it this Wednesday, so.
Yes, yeah, usually I don't care, or I don't care about spoilers or whatever, but I actually don't want, I want to let people know as little as possible about it. Other than, I gave away, there's a guy you guys probably didn't know about, Scrotus, in there.
Yeah.
Another one that was a big deal was, yeah, you guys saw Chris Hemsworth in there. Mm-hmm. Another character totally spoiled by the video game.
Really?
I believe his name was Dr. Dementis in the video game. his name's just Dementis in the movie now, so they like did little things. They like changed little things to be like, yeah, fuck you guys. He's not a doctor anymore. But yeah, that this movie really made me like really like uh Chris Hemsworth. Yeah, Chris Hemsworth a lot more, especially after like Thunder, Love and Thunder. Yeah, Love and Thunder sucks so much ass. Yeah, I didn't. Well, the main thing I didn't like about that movie wasn't actually Thor at all. It was like the whole tone of it was too comedic.
It suffers from the. I mean, it's for one, it's joke, 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 and I think everyone kind of knew that going into it. My issue is my issue with everything with Marvel these days. It's joke, 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 sad moment, undercutting joke, and that was basically the whole movie. I mean, right up till you get to the Hulk, and you're like, Hulk, this is the best.
Yeah, out of all the stuff that they should have taken seriously, I think Gore the God Butcher is one of those characters.
Yeah.
And they kind of like, because Christian Bale's such a good actor, he like did this weird little balance of like being somewhat humorous and being like a tough villain. But it's just like, yeah, people wanted more of that serious kind of villain like vibe from him, and you didn't get enough moments from him.
Well,
And did you say Christian Bale played that character?
Yes, Christian Bale was Gore the God Butcher.
my problem is that character is supposed to be like nothing will stand in the way of him accomplishing his goal of killing all the gods. Daughter bullshit, whatever. He's gonna follow through, and they totally took that away from the character. They should have let him be like, no, fuck all of you guys.
Yeah, I guess like the theme at the end was like sweet and all that, but really when you look at it, you're like, this was just an excuse for Chris Hemsworth to put his daughter in an MCU movie.
Basically.
But again, like my complaint really didn't have anything to do with like even the girl in the movie. It was just mostly like, yeah, what Alex said, like the tone of it was too much of a humorous thing.
Yeah, if you want me to take your movie serious, because there were serious points in that movie, don't undercut it with a joke. Let me feel that way for a while, and then throw a joke in there, But don't keep fucking hit me with them when I'm supposed to be like, oh, this is sad.
Right.
There was a point where the screaming ghost stopped being funny, and they just kept going on with it. I was like, it made me feel like I think it was Fairly Odd Parents when we were kids. Like they would just fucking beat a joke to death by mentioning it like 5 times.
That was their whoop whoop episode.
Yeah, well, the problem is that wasn't their whoop whoop episode. They keep fucking doing it, like, I think if anything shows that they're like not doing the humor right, it was that they screwed up so much with She-Hulk somehow. When She-Hulk was like, it was such a cut and dry. Like they could have made this work, and of course, like the incels were gonna hate it.
Well, and I'm also disappointed. Is it only going to get that one season?
I don't know. Yeah, it's looking like it because a lot of people, even the normal people didn't like it. I knew there was something wrong when my now fiance didn't like it. Where I was watching She-Hulk, she's like, "This is fucking stupid," and like stopped watching. And I understand she was mainly mad because like what they did to the Hulk in like the first 2 episodes. She's like, "I thought this was gonna have something to do with him a little bit because like it makes sense to like relate those 2 characters." But then they kind of, they showed him in, showed him out, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, she's a lawyer / influencer. Here's more Wong than anybody else." And it's like, what the fuck? We want to see the Hulk.
Right.
Wong was really funny in the show, though.
The funny thing is, Wong, no matter what he's in, he's good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he just steals the show, period.
Yeah, and they made a joke about that, and it's like, dude, you guys know this isn't good. That's not good if you guys know these jokes before, like the show even launched that it was going to be an issue.
Well, and like he was even in the 10 Rings, wasn't he? For like maybe I want to say a good 10-minute stint of it, but like, that's the only part of that movie I really remember.
Yeah.
After that, it's the final battle.
Yeah. Oh man, Shang-Chi was a really good movie as far as like its own thing, but it's another one of those things where yeah, no one's thinking about it, you know?
Yeah.
I would, because I fucking loved it. It's just there's nothing been done. I don't think we've seen him in a post-credit scene at all
Of
since
who?
of Shang-Chi.
Yeah, no, I don't. They literally ended that movie, and I haven't seen him since.
Yeah. Well, they had no direction. Like they clearly didn't know what they were doing. Like when they first started Phase 4 or whatever, and then like they turned this into the multiverse saga like in the middle of a bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with the multiverse or anything. They're like, oh wait, people are kind of into this thing. We better make this the multiverse saga, and it's like, yeah, but you guys set up a bunch of stuff that's going nowhere.
Yeah, dude, and it sucks because they have me invested in that character now, and nothing. Like I could give a fuck about how many of the Spider-Men get movies now. I want to see what he's gonna do next.
Yeah.
Right?
And
Because I
especially
mean,
since there's that whole like, if I remember the entire, like the plot of it all was that there's literally two worlds between the real world and us, or us and like this. I don't even know what world was that. Like,
I think I forget what the genre is called, but it's basically Chinese fantasy.
yeah, like I was like, that's awesome. Can we do more with that? But nah, we're just gonna end the movie there.
well, it was nice to finally have like probably a street level hero, you'd say, right?
Yeah.
To finally have that character do something that meant something and not have the stakes be
The world or nothing.
Yeah. Like it's nice to have a nice contained story for once, you know? And the comedy wasn't overdone.
That too. Yeah, it was I thought it was on par. Like it worked just fine. It fit in,
and it didn't undercut the serious parts.
In fact, it like escalated to it's like, oh yeah, here's the serious part. Now comedy's done, fighting, and then now we get back to our low point, and then we build back up again. Like,
well, I mean, we're gonna see Daredevil probably before we see him do anything again.
I mean, I'm not gonna say no to that, but at the same time, it should be him before Daredevil.
Then once again, another street level hero I'm really excited to see. I love Daredevil.
You guys know an Echo show is already a thing, right?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he already is. I think he already did reappear in the Echo show. That is like a thing on Disney Plus. I didn't even watch it yet.
Oh, I was talking about Shang-Chi coming back.
Yeah, but you said you thought that we were going to see Daredevil before.
Oh, right.
So it's yeah, you're already right because we have already seen him again.
She-Hulk as well. I didn't think of that.
Oh yeah, I was just about to say, wasn't he also in She-Hulk?
Yeah, I thought that's what he meant though, is that we were going to see him again after She-Hulk before seeing Shang-Chi, right?
And I'm sorry, you're going to bring Daredevil in to be a fucking booty call? Like, good for Daredevil, I guess, but
I liked them.
I thought that was a good way to do it. I just don't think I didn't like the ending of She-Hulk. Basically,
no, me neither.
Well, I wanted them to actually like work together on something cool if they're gonna be there together.
Dude, all of season 2 could have been them working a fucking case.
Yeah,
that would have been amazing.
Yeah, 2 lawyers, 1 crime show.
Right?
There could have been more like more court stuff going on, and that was a whole thing that pissed me off about the ending. It was like She-Hulk's like, I'm a lawyer. I want to handle this in court. And then it skips that part and just like, it's just over.
When were you a lawyer?
Well,
like episode 1 and maybe 3?
She's like in court a little bit and they like breeze through it. And that's what annoys me is like, you guys said it was supposed to be a courtroom comedy.
Yeah. And what's really, well, and I think they kind of, I don't know if it was intentional or if they were kind of like doing this off the back of it, but like when they broke the fourth, I mean, I know She-Hulk breaks the fourth wall. She's basically like Deadpool in that sense. But I kind of feel like episodes like the last 2 episodes, I don't even remember the last 2 episodes of that series other than it ended badly and I was really hoping for more. But it seemed like they were really just kind of like, what the fuck can we grab to just end all this? It was just this bad joke about it being like a one-time series, and it's more interesting because oh man, I can't remember his name, even though he's in fucking everything. Oh come on, he was in the illegal fighting ring and stuff like that.
Oh, Wong.
Wong, thank you.
The best character in the MCU.
Yep.
Well, people really like that one chick who was in WandaVision, and she was in like Thor. The big tits.
Wait.
Oh.
I don't know her name. So she was in early
Kat
Thor.
Dennings.
There we go.
Yeah, Kat Dennings.
Yeah, that's one person who would probably compete with Wong for best MCU character.
Actually,
The Asian guy too.
the chick that plays Monica Rambeau, I really like.
She was good.
She was better in the Marvels.
I was about to say she doesn't really fit the character that I saw in WandaVision and the Marvels, but
No.
but I still liked her.
I really enjoyed her. It
What
was
character was she?
she was like Captain America's like adoptive niece.
Captain
She
Marvel.
was-
Captain Marvel, my bad.
In WandaVision, was she like the head of like the SHIELD agents when they were trying to find Wanda and like contain the whole shit, or?
She was the one that got blasted by Wanda and got powers.
Yeah, this might have been way too long ago because
I'm
they're
gonna have to rewatch that.
'cause they're-
what the fuck?
yeah, because remember they didn't know what the fuck they were doing, so yeah, she was supposed to be Spectrum or God, they had have 3 different names for this character.
Well, they spent I think they spent some time in the Marvels trying to give her a proper name, but I don't think anything ever stuck.
Well, yeah, I think that's because she was supposed to be Captain Marvel. I think that was. That's like the whole point of that movie.
Who was the lady of SHIELD? She was the one that was like the commander of the airship in like the first Avengers.
I think that chick's gone. The white brunette
I
chick,
want to say her name was Penny, but that's not her name.
like Maria or something. I don't know.
Maria Hill.
Maria Hill. There we go.
Yes, I miss her.
Yeah, I haven't seen that chick in a long time. I don't know. Weird. They're taking forever to figure out what they're doing. I'm worried about the Deadpool movie that's going to come out in like a month or 2 months.
I'm worried, but also excited just because it's been a long time since we had a Deadpool movie. So
I'm excited because it's finally a Marvel movie that I'm actually excited for.
true.
I've been waiting for Wolverine. And I was like, oh, they're not going to recast him. They're bringing my dad back. Okay. I hope they don't do what they've been doing with everybody else with this.
Ooh.
And it's one of those things. What are you oohing at?
What was she in?
WandaVision and the Marvels so far.
Oh yeah,
Son
she
of
was
a
literally.
God, I'm gonna have to watch that because I don't remember her at all, man. Just
Oh God.
And was she in Secret Invasion a little bit?
You know, I did not watch Secret Invasion.
I don't remember any of that. That also sucked ass.
So what I'm hearing is I need to go back onto Disney and just start watching Marvel from the beginning again.
No, watch it.
No.
Watch after Shang-Chi, basically. Where
Okay.
That's a good place to start.
Also, has there been any news on Moon Knight?
No.
season
I've
2
heard
is
of.
happening.
Because they had a really good actor for that. I just felt like that series didn't go anywhere.
I thought it ended pretty well.
It was I thought it was a nice self-contained story, and now they're like, oh, we're doing season 2, and then we didn't hear anything of that, and I think that was like a year ago.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't heard anything since then. I did hear that after Venom 3, there aren't going to be any more Venom movies. They're just going to be kind of hulking him and putting him into everything else. Or at least versions of him.
So, as side characters just snap in, hey, there's Venom, and then he's out.
Yeah, well, Venom, from what I understand, not Eddie Brock, just Venom, is going to be staying around. It sounds like it's not very certain whether it's going to stay Tom Hardy all the time. So we might be seeing different versions of Venom and Eddie Brock together
How interesting.
some point. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's because their whole, I think we missed a whole huge. I think it was supposed to be a huge moment for the Sony verse with that Madam Web movie, but no one saw it.
I think it's on Max. If I'm still awake, I'll watch it tonight.
Like, all I know is that people were making jokes that the villain looked like Hassan Piker, which I was dying at.
I don't know who
Hassan,
that
what are
is.
you doing?
Oh,
You
God.
were our hero. Now you're our villain.
Yeah, he's going to be like, you know what, Madam Web, I just really need you to know I think these people deserved it. 9/11 specifically. Yeah. This was in a chronically online bit where I asked you if you knew he was a Twitch streamer that's a political guy. Yeah.
Right.
Basically known for saying that we deserved 9/11 because, we did all the things that led to Al Qaeda being a thing.
And here, what's his name? Not
Yeesh.
Bill Burr. Bill Burr's the bass guy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bill Burr's, we were calling him based, yeah.
Yeah, it's the Bill Maher guy.
Yeah.
He's the one that actually got canceled for basically saying the exact same.
Yeah, before
That's a
he...
fucking prick.
He's a total fucking prick.
Yeah, he's always been a schmuck, dude. Like,
Yeah.
total fucking,
the thing is that he's,
condescending is the word.
He's just a condescending little twat. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you guys hear about the Jake Paul and what is it? Jake Paul and
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson fight.
You remember Jake Paul before you remembered Mike Tyson?
Motherfucker.
Well, he's
I'm
trying
all
to-
over the place right
He
now.
was trying to remember which retired, way past his prime fighter Jake Paul's gonna be fighting again.
Well, I heard the fight already happened, didn't it?
Did it?
I thought that Mike Tyson dropped him in the first round.
Oh, because I just saw.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to
I'm
pause this to see if this is
I
a
want
thing.
to see that because I just saw a TikTok today where the lady's like, okay, apparently Jake Paul called out Mike Tyson's daughter, and Mike Tyson's like, all right, fuck that, I'm gonna go get this entire fight actually officiated by the boxing league.
I think
okay,
We're gonna fuck you up,
All right, someone fibbed to me at work today.
well, there's a point where he fought a guy named Tyron Woodley, and Tyron had a really good shot on Jake Paul, and he fell against the ropes, and people would probably say he dropped him in that moment, but he didn't win that fight.
Oh.
So what's going on with this?
Apparently, Mike Tyson had a medical scare or something today.
Yeah, getting on a plane or something, or
Something like that.
yeah.
No.
Well, Mike Tyson,
Yeah.
he's fucking old. That's
I
the
know
thing.
he's old, but I was
57 years old.
Yeah,
oh wait, how old?
57.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
okay.
thing. There's no winning for Jake Paul in this situation because you either get dropped by the legend,
Yep.
and everyone's like, haha, you're fucking 20-something and you got dropped by a almost 60-year-old legend, or you beat up one of America's favorite fucking boxers.
Legends.
Okay. It was an ulcer flare up.
Okay.
Okay.
When was this fight supposed to happen though?
July 20th, I think it said.
Okay, so
We
they
still
still
got plenty of time.
yeah,
Yeah.
if that, but that's the thing. Yeah, there's no winning for Jake Paul, whether it's real or not. You're again not fighting a real fighter
Yep.
who's a real boxer, because that's the thing too. He fought Nate Diaz, didn't knock out Nate Diaz, and Nate Diaz didn't win the fight. He lost by decision, which anytime he loses by decision, he didn't actually lose. The judges just hate him,
I saw a clip of Mike Tyson saying exactly that. It's like, who did he knock out? Which one? Which one of professional fighters did he knock out?
Yeah, he the one time he fought a boxer, Jake Paul, he lost. It was Tyson Fury's younger brother. He lost in that. I don't think he got knocked out. He lost in decision. But he won't. Why didn't he run it back with that guy? He should have. He ran it back. He ran it back with Tyron Woodley, and they did he supposedly knocked him out, and it was such a fake looking knockout. The guy dropped his hand and
Yeah.
everything.
Well,
Yeah.
from my understanding about all the Jake Paul fights and stuff like that, is that it's a show. It's not even really, oh, we're gonna have a ring set up, boxing gloves. Here are the rules. Go for it, and then it's an actual strength check between the two of them. It's actually kind of choreographed, or there's some form of either powdering of the mittens, or I don't know how the fuck they would make it a show, but in the end, it's a show more than it is an actual boxing match between two boxers.
Yeah, I believe it's supposed to be just a sham, where it's yeah, we'll fight for this many rounds, and then I'm just gonna win.
It's the Raw pay-per-views, but it's just two guys.
Yeah, Now, if Jake's
Raw
had
pay-per-views are fun to watch.
Oh yeah. Oh, are you kidding? It is
The pay-per-views are fun to watch.
nothing.
I don't know how fun watching Jake Paul is.
There's no comparison between the two.
No.
There really isn't. I'm sorry, like even the UFC fights, I wouldn't even pay pay-per-view. I'd pay-per-view fucking Raw before a UFC fight.
we got a message from our boy James. This just in. He said, "Yes, the Liberal Gun Club wants to. I forward with a national endorsement. Going to fill out my paperwork."
Nice.
What? I don't know what that's in regard to at all for our group chat.
I also don't know if we should say anything yet until he's ready to announce that.
Well, he's filling out his paperwork. This comes up,
Yeah.
Well, and honestly, that is something that he really wanted to get was an endorsement from them, and that's fucking righteous, dude.
Right. I just don't know if by the time this episode comes out this Friday,
Yeah.
if he will be ready to announce it himself yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, maybe we'll tell our very special Thief River Falls listeners to shh.
Right?
Be very, very quiet about that secret we just told you.
Mm-hmm. all 10 of you.
All 6.
Yeah.
All 3 that live in the area.
Yep.
So there was this clip I want you guys to listen to.
Yeah,
it.
so I think we go ahead and just pause it real quick and see this clip, and then we'll come
yeah.
back. So yeah, we just watched the clip of basically a kid just swearing up a storm to Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, and asked them who's got the higher body count. Like, what the?
Yeah, that's Gen A for you, dude. They're fucking menaces, man.
Dude. Okay, like, here's the thing. Like, good on the kid for getting his question out, but my God, my kid, like, you gotta... Woo! You should wait a few years before you start bringing that out, but okay.
That's the thing, dude. There's kids growing up being fans of fucking Logan Paul, Jake Paul. Now, like, Andrew Tate, Aiden Ross, Sneeko, like, all some like, the worst fucking people. Which is funny, because, like, some people would say, like, oh, we grew up, like, watching South Park or whatever, but, like, that's satire and stuff like that. These people are, like...
We actually believed it as satire. It was a show. It wasn't some asshole saying, I am better than you, and you can be better as me because of this.
Well, you can also clearly see what they're actually talking about in South Park. The point they're trying to make is very clear. It's not...
It's nailed over the fucking head. Mm-hmm. It's not dog whistles or, like,
Yeah. Even if, like, Andrew Tate is fake, because a lot of people say that, like, that's just a character he puts on. He says everyone who says that is an idiot. It's one of those things. Even if it was fake, it's like, it's still the output that is, like, these kids are turning out, like, when they're damaging. When they're trying to find out who has a higher body count.
A Ponzi scheme is still a Ponzi scheme, even if you use a character to sell the Ponzi scheme.
It's also not... it's also, I think, a very bad look to ask a convicted rapist and a alleged rapist who's got the higher body count.
Oh, shit.
Like, and everyone knows, I love Mike Tyson, and I accept, like, people have, like, flaws and stuff, but, like, yo, dude, being a kid, just asking that question, and it's like, yeah, you shouldn't ask these questions.
Yeah, no.
I understand, well, that's the thing, too, yeah, I understand people make mistakes. I don't know the whole story with that, but, like, yo, he went to jail for it,
Oh, which one?
Mike Tyson.
Oh, okay.
Jake Paul, that's the thing, it's easy to get away with stuff like that. Especially when you have power or whatever.
Especially. Nah, I'm not going to bring up that major corporation.
Oh, no. Oh, boy. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, James Charles is still a big YouTuber. No one's, Did
you say James Charles?
Yes.
Shit.
That's the makeup YouTuber, right?
Yes, yeah. He has talked to minors quite a few times.
Yep.
And, he's still up there, he's still doing his thing, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, nah, see, like, yeah, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to shut up before my brain destroys me.
Man, I don't understand the confidence to be able to do what that kid did at that conference.
Yeah.
Like, if I had done that, I'd be oh, dude, I would be shitting my pants thinking of what my grandma would do to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love thinking about the contrast between that kid being like, "What's your body count?" and then like 10 years ago, that one kid being like, "What's the dedicated wham I should have for a server?"
Dude, for real. When I was that age, I don't even think I was thinking about sex. Like,
Yeah, that's the difference. Well, I mean, I definitely was like that was me as a kid, probably up there. But like, that kid, that was the difference between like Gen Z, dedicated wham kid, and fucking
yeah.
Gen A, fucking what's your body count, Jake?
But you also knew time and place.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I was definitely a sad. Like that's that's why I'm glad we don't have phones when I was in like middle
God.
school. Like I'm glad we didn't have TikTok and like smartphones like that because I was a little shitty savage kid like that too, and it took me quite a long time to learn like, well, actually no, there's huge repercussions to being like this, and yeah, that kid's got I mean, not just him, but like that whole generation have a really rude awakening as like this kind of stuff is going to follow them. Like there's that kid. This is a few years ago, where there was a kid that got canceled because he stood in the way of a Native American guy at I think it was like somewhere in DC.
His parents hired a PR firm.
Yes.
To help him with this.
Yeah, and I stood up for this kid because he was like a kid with a bunch of like fucking dumbass like kids for Trump or whatever, and like they were arguing with a bunch of black Israelites, and the black Israelites, I mean, they're pretty vicious. So like that's why I thought it was funny because like they're they saw a black kid there, and they're like, "Get out!" Talking about the movie. And they were basically harassing these kids though. But this Native American guy saw it and was like, "Yo, I'm gonna do my thing and dispel the negativity amongst these people." And that kid just sat there and stared at him. And like I remember watching the video and I see him like turn to his friend because his friend's like being immature, being a kid, being like, "Oh fuck yeah, this beat goes hard," kind of thing. And his friend's he nudged him like be respectful, and just stands there and watches him and was like, "I think this dumbass kid doesn't realize this guy wants him to move," and he's like sitting there like, "That's a very nice performance, sir." And what does the internet do? Turn around, they're like, "This fucking stupid Nazi kid," and stuff like that. And I'm like, "Oh, dude, I think that dumbass kid just did not understand the vibe, and the old man didn't tell him like, hey, get out of the way," like. Because I could imagine that happening to anybody where, if you don't understand anything about, like, a culture and some guy comes up to you with a drum and just start beating it and he's not, like, nudging you or anything, he's just standing in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's also what happens when you drag your kids into politics. Because from what I understand is, like, a few of those kids, or a majority of them, were wearing, like, MAGA hats.
They all were. Yeah. And that's, it was a school field trip because they were, like, a fucking, like, in a Catholic school. It's like, these kids probably don't. They are getting their political information.
They haven't been outside of two separate gates: the gates to their gated community and the gates to their gated school.
Well, yeah,
Those
it's
are
like
the only two gates they've ever been in and out of.
Yeah, they don't have a real fucking opinion on these things. So that's why there's plenty of people we know in our circle that I was arguing with on this, where I'm like, dude, this is just a kid not being malicious because he's too young to fucking like know what he's talking about,
Well, and then like I think it just goes further to show that the parents are the main culprits behind it, because they had to go out and hire the PR firm.
Yeah, no,
they're the ones that turned around and was like, "Hey, PR firm, my son is in the news for this reason.
Yeah,
help us bury this shit."
The mom and the kid were on like CNN talking.
Yeah,
and the kid was explaining his side, being like, "I didn't mean it like that."
They
did
the Streisand effect, where if they just legit went home and said fucking nothing, gone in a month. Instead, they did the Streisand effect, ran it out for, I want to say, like 3 months was with this whole controversy happening, to the point where I think they were on national, well, like you said, they were on fucking CNN. Like,
yeah. No, they brought that fucking native guy on too, and they were
Oh,
like
God.
supposed to have a debate, and like I remember it being so like anticlimactic because they're just like, oh, I didn't know it was like that. Kind of like was kind of the vibe of it. Like I didn't know what was going on, and
like I hope at some point the adults talk to each other as opposed to them just as opposed to it being like so they brought on the native guy and they brought on the kid and his mom, right? Probably.
yeah,
Like I hope at some point in time it was a debate between the parents because it was his mom that put him in that fucking MAGA hat, and it
Mhm.
was, you know, him that decided to do whatever it was to.
well, there's another element to this too where it's not necessarily like the kid had to wear the hat or whatever. It's that he doesn't know anything else and he thinks what he's doing is a good thing. Like if you were gonna do charity work and you're like, oh, I'm doing a good thing, I'm doing my part. That's what these kids are being told, doing their part for Make America Great Again and stuff. That's the whole thing. Like with the people we know that are conservative and stuff, that are our friends and stuff, are just so misguided in the sense that they believe like their whole perception is so askew that they think they mean well and their values are like moral values and stuff instead of xenophobic, you know, otherist kind of.
borderline borderline transphobic or borderline
Uh,
anti-LGBT.
Yeah,
Like,
well, it's always like oh, I don't have a problem with these people, but
exactly. Yeah.
you know, and where it's like I believe that they don't have a problem with these people, but they don't realize what they're saying indicates they have a problem with these people.
Well, okay. So remember when Aunt Jemima got retired as a symbol?
Yep.
And we actually had a few in our group coming up and going, "Oh, what a disgrace that they're trying to censor, you know, black symbolism in marketing and blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And I think legit, I saw his post and I was like, "Listen, man, you have to stop listening to the fucking dog whistles. Like, I don't know if you are listening to it. I don't know if you are part of it.
Yeah.
I want to give you the benefit of the doubt and think that you are just misguided right now." And he came back like, "I don't see how this is racist. I got plenty of friends like this." And I literally was like, Aunt Jemima and racism on Google. And it was like the first website was like, oh fuck, I can't even remember what it was. But it basically was like, hey, yeah, yo, this this was a racist symbol from like way back when, and Aunt Jemima was like the last like inheritance of this racist symbol.
Yeah.
Like,
Where like the I'm pretty sure the lips were almost like borderline
oh
unrealistically
yeah, no,
like
that's
pink.
that. Like I said, she was the final evolution of all of that.
Yeah.
Like before then, like no, you would not have been able to get away with like saying like, oh yeah, this representation. You would not be able to get away with even trying to say borderline. Yeah, this is all about representation.
Yeah,
Like,
it's and also everybody's a lib. That is another thing. Second Hassan mention of this episode. He said that was the truest thing. Because for some fucking conservative fucking nerd to turn around and talk about racial representation is the most fucking cringe fucking liberal bullshit. Shut the fuck up. You don't give a fuck about representation. Like no one does. Why are you pretending? Like that's what annoys me about when everyone started complaining about like the trans woman in swimming, like you didn't give a fuck about women swimming before. You didn't care about women in sports before. You don't still. You're just wanting to be angry about something that you don't care about.
And that's exactly what this trans debate with the conservatives is turned into. Is just basically it's their next target. They can't hate the gays anymore, So they got to go for somebody just off kilter that might be able to, they might be able to find somebody in the LGBT to be able to say, yeah, trans people aren't people,
Yeah.
like fucking conservatives like reach for the very margins of liberalism, if that makes sense, and find like the worst of them.
They try to. It's so funny. Like they take stuff that we made fun of. Well, I don't know about you, but like stuff I made fun of about like cringy people who were like who meant well with like whether it was like feminist views or like leftist views, but went too far with it. Where like they were saying things. Well, pretty much what they were taking something that meant well, and then they were like making it so stupid and cringe where you're just like shut the fuck up like
Yep.
that's not where we're going with this. Like, a very easy or the easiest example is always going to be, when people go from like the, free the nipple movement or whatever, where it's supposed to be about teaching men to avert their gaze and not look at every, woman as a sexual object, to them being like, you know what, no, I am a whore actually, and we should all be sluts and fuck you for it. And it's like, huh?
Well, see, I don't know. From what I understand about the free the nipple movement was that it is basically trying to desexualize the breast.
Yes.
Because, I mean, in the end, the only reason that, women have to wear a bra when they wear swimsuits is because their boobs are sexual.
Women or girls in fucking, as elementary school, middle school, high school, all have to wear clothes a certain way because the male gaze, and it's not even necessarily kids, but adults and stuff. And it's like,
that's the worst fucking part.
Yeah, the whole point of all this movement stuff was supposed to be like, how about you, the guy, stop being a fucking gross ass pervert.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's some people that took it so far that like, no, we're gonna empower ourselves by being more sexualized, and it's like, that's cool, but on this wavelength, you guys are, taking it so far that now it's like defeating its own purpose.
It defeats the point.
Yeah, because like on both ends of that, if you were to ask me, as a list of questions, do you think women should be able to dress as slutty as they want and be whores if they want? I'd be like, yes. And then they'd be like, should men not be perverts and fucking oogle every woman they see with a little bit of cleavage? Yes. Now they're like, do these things contradict? Yes. I would keep checking the line of that. But like, yeah, it's funny because you see conservatives do the same thing, but like they try to like liberalize their own weird conservative views.
And I think one of the most concerning things, at least from my perspective, has been this entire idea of owning the libs, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not trying to own conservatives when I say, you know what, maybe, we should not like outlaw abortions. I'm not saying that because I want to say, yeah, since your religion says there shouldn't be abortions, I'm going to say the opposite. That is what owning the libs is. It's literally just taking any idea and just going nah.
Yeah.
Just nah. Like, can we get a medical system where I don't lose an arm and a leg for calling the ambulance? Nah. That sounds communist.
No, you should just work harder.
Or fiscal responsibility.
Oh God, here's another fucking snowflake.
Snowflake.
And let's be real here. I have seen more snowflakes on the right side of things than I have on the left, which is kind of hilarious.
At this point in time, any argument coming from the right is just projection.
Oh.
Yep. Okay. Actually, one of the greatest fucking things ever was, how 2 years ago during the last election year for the fucking House and bullshit like that. Everybody was talking about the red wave and stuff, and they were telling Republicans don't mail in your ballots, don't do any of that sort of shit. You have to go in and hand in your vote, and there was none of that messaging coming from the Democratic side. They were just like, vote however the fuck you can.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? And now today, I'm hearing conservatives go and say, make sure that you get your mail-in ballots. Make sure that you're registered to vote. They're like, they're doing the exact same thing the Democrats have always been doing, and that's been trying to get people to vote however easily it can be done, and just to make sure that your voice is heard. Instead, it just. I wish the conservatives would find the seriousness in their fucking ideals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for I'm all for being fiscally conservative. I'm all for being able to know where the fuck our money goes and tracking it, and I want my 25% out of my paychecks to actually mean something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, their idea of fiscal conservative is just saying any social program, period, is not good.
Unless it's for me and my business.
Well, there's the key word. If it's for my business. It's not about my house. It's not about my kids and whether they can actually get a job when they grow up. It's not about like trying to make our world somewhat smarter or somewhat better or somewhat healthier. It's just, what does the business want?
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. Like I get businesses have their needs. I get that they need their water, their electricity. They need the certain resources that are only, but at what cost to the worker that is actually going to stand there on the floor and make your goddamn product? What was that?
He said, "Be sure to like and subscribe quietly."
You're welcome, everybody. Enjoy that rant.
You
no, I didn't want you to stop. I just
yeah. That's funny. You could just have that come up on the screen, but it's just gonna come up in that moment. Yeah, no. The thing is, you are spitting. When it comes to that, I would say I'm a little too woke at times when it comes to because I used to be very oh no, I there are some conservative values that I agree with, and it's
same.
Those some of those values are more out of nihilism. Okay, I'm pro Second Amendment because I don't trust the government because I know the government is bad. But I also understand, on the other hand, we need some form of gun control. But I also, because I'm so nihilistic, and I understand that we're never gonna get any form of gun control. It's that's where it's at. I just understand it's not happening, versus knowing that the whole basis of what we call conservative thought is the continuation of what the Confederacy stood for. States' rights, controlling different classes of people and it goes on and on. They hide their values in different buzzwords and stuff like that.
Well, and that's just it. Their values are, and this is it's the conservatives that don't want the fuck is it? Critical race theory.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say black people, but
I mean that's true too.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Technically, they do want black people.
Oh, okay.
But for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, it's they want their token black person to speak out and tell them that their values are true.
Owens, they want their who the fuck's
Kanye West.
Who's that judge up there right now? Fucking.
I don't know.
There's that judge that goes around to fucking Walmart parking lots and sleeps in his $250,000 RV that some company bought him.
What the fuck? What? I know there was that guy.
No, that's what he fucking does. He'll go to sporting events and sleep in the parking lots in the city of the Walmart there, because Walmart has the policy where you could camp in their parking lots, right?
Yeah.
He goes there with his $250,000 fucking RV that he didn't buy. That his fun fucking conservative Jim Crow era asshole bought him.
Yeah, that's
that
crazy.
Asshole. Those are the only two people that the conservatives love, are the ones that are willing to. Nah, I'm not going to stop there.
I was about to say
myself fucking canceled.
Yeah, well, I was about to say you are still forgetting Kanye West.
Kanye West is he is a chaotic, evil menace.
Kanye West has been in support of Trump for a very long time now. So
Kanye West is just a walking, talking MAGA hat.
He is. But what I think is really fucking hilarious is I want to say it was a year ago, he was on the Alex Jones show. Oh God. And he was going on a rant about Israel and everything, and he brought a Yahoo and a net, and he was making some stupid correlation between the net and Yahoo.
Yeah.
He came in with a fucking black ski mask.
Yeah.
I have no idea
he was hiding his face because, he's a thug.
I'm sitting here just going, is he trying to get probable deniability at this point? Does he just want to get something off his chest, so he's going to wear the ski mask so that way he can come out in 2 weeks and be like, I don't know who that motherfucker was. That wasn't me on Alex Jones that one time.
Yeah,
but nothing like that has happened. He He's
No.
just doubled the fuck
He-
down.
He did that because he thought that looked hard, and it did. It did. He like
Oh.
his fit for that episode, for that podcast or whatever you want to call it, was dope, and his style is dope. But
Man, okay,
his opinions are trash, and what he said, oh god, what he said was legendary though. The fact that like I love like Alex Jones, who people paint Alex Jones to be kind of like the political Andrew Tate, where he's like, oh well, we don't like Hitler, blah blah blah, and Kanye hits him with the I do, like I do, like
So you mean something along the lines of like his ideologies and stuff? No.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah, he was like,
What?
I love Hitler. Is like what he said.
I mean, I do too, but I'm not supposed to say it out loud.
Yeah, no, Alex kept giving him outs. Cause like he was trying so hard.
Outs and he took none of them. He had his right blinker on, and Alex Jones is like, take the next exit. Okay, you missed that one. Take the next one. What the fuck are you doing, man? Take the next exit.
Yeah. And it wasn't just Alex Jones. He talked to actually, he was talking to so many like super conservative guys.
I think like Nick
And
Fuentes was on that fucking cast.
Nick,
Actual Nazi was
Yeah.
on that fucking podcast.
Nick Fuentes is like his friend now because he's like, you're saying the most.
Yeah.
You're saying all the stuff that I want to say.
Holy shit, everybody.
Yeah.
If you at any point in time look at Nick Fuentes and go, what a marvelous man, look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you're a fucking Nazi, because that's exactly what you are.
Yeah. Like, Nick Fuentes.
Fuck Nick Fuentes.
Yeah. Nick Fuentes makes Ben Shapiro seem normal by all
Fuck
standards.
Ben Shapiro too.
Yeah. Ben
That fucking cuck.
Yeah. Seriously, though.
I have nothing against kink shaming. I'm just calling him a cuck because he fucking hates that word.
Well, it's like,
Like what?
when you talk about...
Like a wet-ass pussy! Fucking Ben Shapiro!
when
Fuck you! I'm sorry. There's people that, okay, for a long time I've been sitting here going like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't speak up so much because I'm worried about what if I might offend somebody. And then you have fucking Ben Shapiro! You have Nick fucking Fuentes!
you have
Both of them behind a fucking mic with millions of dollars behind their fucking shows
yeah,
for some fucking reason!
oil companies.
Fuck them too!
Yeah, like
Keep
all these
cranking
people.
those prices up, you assholes!
Yeah, 100%.
I kind of feel like I'm on the show with Alex Jones, just a super fucking...
You know, I could probably start my own character. I could probably start my own character right now with the liberal fucking Alex Jones!
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Actually, this is on the docket. So this is perfect.
This is the topic we were going to talk about.
Yeah. Here's why Doug can't do that. And yeah, don't worry. Doug can't do that because people on the left are, even if you want to call them the liberals, which, the liberals, where we're at, because I don't like subscribing to words left or right. I'm definitely not on the right. Definitely not a conservative. There's very few things I want to conserve when it comes to this country. But I'm definitely not a liberal because those people are like the weirdo centrist people. There are weirdo fucking, establishment Democrats. But there's these people on the left who will always, they would look at Doug and what Doug says and be like, yeah, well, you're a man,
too
so...
extreme, or that's too high on the
Oh, you're not
side.
extreme enough, or, you're, because you're not down with furries or something, you're a fucking transphobe, or, there's the leftist grift will never work because the left in their problem is that they fucking like self-cannibalize so much on each other where, they'll look at anybody with different values of them and be like, that person's also a Nazi. And that's why you have these terms such as tanky, which is the, we were supposed to talk about that in this episode. People who are huge fans of like the Stalinist, Leninist style of communism. Then there's people that are like, the anarchists, anarcho-communists kind of people who want to do like collectivist values and like communes and stuff like that. A lot more free flowing, and people who are more take, more authoritarian, make fun of them, and be like, yeah, you want to abolish showers, I bet, too, you stinky fucker. So, it's funny because, like, the left will never unite the same way the right does every time, because it's just easy for them to be like, the same way Nick Fuentes and fucking Alex Jones and Ben Shapiro can all agree on something. They'll all agree and be like, yeah, actually, it's really nice what's happening to the kids in Palestine. They deserve it.
Well, and the funny thing is that the conservatives came up with the owning the libs thing, but liberals could literally just adopt that and just turn it to, we're going to own the conservatives.
Yeah.
Legit, because we will own them 8 ways to fucking Sunday with our ideologies. The only reason they say that they own the libs is because they go, nuh-uh, and then they have the police
that is literally
beat the shit out of anybody that says otherwise.
No, Doug, they go, nuh-uh, also, you're this picture I drew of you, but ugly.
Right? Fucking immature.
Like, they'll hear you yelling and be like, oh, look, he's such a weak man for yelling, but when Alex Jones yells, he's based and strong.
Oh, yeah, he's based. He's a fucking man. Fuck you, Alex Jones.
God.
I hope you liked your defamation suits.
Yeah, oh, God. I really hope they get them for the January 6th stuff.
I hope they do, too.
Anyways, do we want to cut it here? Do we want to do another time?
I think that would be a good point to cut because I'm about to yell again.
Let's just start the next episode with him yelling. We'll be like, Doug, you remember this, Doug? You should yell.
Hey, welcome to fucking Hooligans.
All right, well, I think we are going to go ahead and round it off.
But before we do that, we have some plugs real quick. Starting with, hey, you should totally support our podcast, like and subscribe.
Especially after seeing that little note inside the YouTube thing right after my rant about something.
Exactly. Like and subscribe. Follow us on our Facebook. That'll also be in the description. Chuck, you got something tonight?
I got all my stuff. Please, my YouTubes, my Twitch, my books. Yeah, just, the links will be in the description. And, yeah, thank you. Doug, do you have anything for your thing yet?
I ain't got nothing to sign off with, but I want to thank everybody for listening to everything. And hopefully you enjoyed those rants, and I hope it kind of, seeds and sits within you and, kind of makes you feel at least a little bit more, I think, hopeful for the future. Because you know for a fact that you are not alone.
I'm aboard the hope train.
Chew, fucking chew.
Got our train joke in.
Got our
train in.
Got it in.
Got it in. Oh!
We almost went a whole episode. Wow.